lay those unquiet thoughts to rest. I, Xir Kuur, of the brood of Xir challenge Oryx. He had communed with the deep, and fashioned the bones of the great worm into his dreadnought. So for the sake of the sword, I challenged him, full of the weight of purpose, and the hunger of war that drives us all. Take up the knife. Against my sword, there was a swallowing emptiness, a void that should have held stars. I thought myself blind. I thought myself dead. Bone mortar, to shape the foundation of eternity, take up the knife. Oryx took me then, but I did not crave what he offered. Take up the knife, it is shaped like unparalleled victory. If it is not done by my own power, it is not earned. Thus has the sword logic ever been taught to us, and thus I have lived. Take up the knife. And so here I have stayed in this dreadnought, living and not living, taken and not taken. It might have been yesterday, it might have been an eon ago. Take, live, kill, live. I am here, I am power, and I am victory. I am the knife itself. Come take what you need, your objective, a new weapon. Others come, and to the taken I say, take me if you can. I am Hive, I do not surrender. I do not. We are the knife. Heresy has a lot of themes being touched this season, but I'm mostly surprised by how strong the theme of conviction is this season. Obviously, we knew that we were going to be dealing with like resolve and all that when we came in, but we're testing ourselves like it's taken. That's always something about willpower, right? But I didn't expect so many characters to have it written into them. It's part of the core DNA of this season's story. It's so strangely present in every character that's taking part of the story. Not only the Guardian, but by Sloane and even the Hive. I've been doing some thinking, and at its core, this season's narrative is all about will. Planting yourself in your own unwavering belief. Not allowing yourself to become something that you are not. By staying true to yourself. Even Oryx is firmly standing on his own beliefs, being confronted by his own death and his killer. Not even Oryx's death could shake him from his path. He says this multiple times when you go into the Nether. I must be what I am, and I am defeated. And he calls us heir presumptive, because in his eyes, we're, I guess, proving ourselves worthy. Or proving that we could have killed him, I guess. Being told by his sisters that they are now free to take a new path. Now that they are no longer in a chokehold by the Witness and his Black Fleet. That the universe is once again theirs to explore. Xir tells Oryx to pick up the sword once more, but states it is heresy to do so. And we have this interesting parallel between Xir Kuur and Sloane. Right? Because they're kind of like in the same position. They're not in this quantum dyadic state, Sloane, but Xir Kuur is. But even though they're not in the same type of like affliction, they are definitely in the same struggle, right? They both hear that whole thing where it's like, take up the knife, take it. They're being taken. They both have that struggle within them right now. But in the Beryl Dyad quest, we have Xir Kuur in there, right? A member of the Hive, also showing an immense amount of conviction and will by resisting being taken for so long. They've been battling with it, They're literally split in half. Xir Kuur taken and Xir Kuur not taken. And he did lose this fight, but that's because of us. I think he could have kept it going for a while if it were because of us, but we killed him, we broke him. There's a lot going on with that quest with Beryl Dyad, because Xir Kuur is kind of like resisting for so long, and he challenges Oryx, right? It's not until Oryx comes back where like that's what draws us to the Dreadnought, and it eventually leads to him being taken anyway by Oryx. But yeah, as you can see, he shows a lot of will and conviction in that lore tab. And it ends because we ended him. So it's really interesting how this lore tab is basically the opposite of what Sloane goes through in the Apostate's Hood tab. And you know, like this is definitely on purpose. Like you don't write this stuff on accident. So it's really interesting the type of parallels we're getting and what kind of connections we can possibly make with all of them. Forcing him to take up the knife, but regardless, it's still a crazy feat to resist being taken. You know, that's just how it is. It's like there's so many characters that like have strong wills and they end up being taken anyway. Just look at some of the Awoken characters in the story. And you know, I have to say it again, Destiny has always been about faith. Trusting in yourself, believing in your convictions. And for the Hive, that's their sword logic. You know, that's their conviction. That's their resolve. For most Guardians, it was the light. Or whatever it may be that motivates them. But like I mentioned earlier, there's like a parallel between Xir Kuur and Sloane here, right? Because if we take a look at the Apostate's Blade Hood lore tab, we'll get a bit more in depth about what Sloane feels about her taken affliction and what this means, right? I'll read the tab now. There is a knife for you. To be taken is to yield. Sloane hears it still, that refrain that haunted her in Titan's depth. Take, live, and quieter behind it, something that stirs. A whispered offer. There can be no claim on her by force, but that says nothing of Sloane's own will. No material yet exists that cannot be worn down in time. Oceans, whether methane or water, break rock into sand. Any yielding is akin to ceding entirely. Sloane cordones off any sense of that nagging offer. She will have no risk of slipping. She will know perfectly where she ends and where the taken begins. There is no room for doubt. She thinks in her meditation of Eris, who went down into the pit, who came back changed. Eris, Hive enough to stand as a god of vengeance. Does Eris have such a delineation? Does Eris say, here is the Hive, and here is Eris Morn, and never shall the two meet? No, she cannot. Or that new Hive god made chitinous from her flesh would have been someone else. Sloane imagines, what if she did the same? If she took in her hands a grievous knife and said, Sloane is the one who holds this knife. Sloane is the knife. She is sharp, sharper, and alight with the sterile flame of the taken. It is not the same. Sloane knows it heart deep, bone deep. She cannot put that knife down when she has taken it up. Not like Eris and the Hive. What is taken is not given back. They cannot be the same. As you can see, Sloane compares her taken affliction to that of Eris's Hive aspects, right? Not totally human anymore, but not truly Hive or taken. You know, she trusts her resolve to hold the corruption back, but still worries that if she were to ever pick up that knife, she would surely fall off the deep end. But that's about it on what I have to say around this time. I want to make another video that ties this season to my earlier theories of the Hive last year. I'm not sure where to start with the lore tabs we got right now. But I know there's something. Something that can all link it together. But until next time, I hope you found this interesting and fun. So, bye. By the way, I'm adding this in editing. This guy totally becomes a Hive boss. Look how, did you see how huge he gets? That's a raid boss, alright? It was probably a mega huge mistake to fight this guy. Cause he's like as big as the War Priest now. or bigger. I don't know.